Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vamsharishibhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. So we were in Madhu Brahmanam. I think we finished the 15th Vakya, bhashya also last time, where Bhashyakara actually explained very beautifully how seemingly contradictory statements are used to convey the teaching that this Brahman, this Atma is beyond space-time. It transcends spatial, temporal, all kinds of limitations, correct? So to show that seemingly contradictory statements are all used by the Shruti. In fact, the contradiction itself can be resolved if we understand that one statement is with reference to the Upadhi, the other statement is Nirupadika. That means it refers to Brahman as it is without any conditioning factors. So if you look at Brahman through space, then all spatial limitations also you have to say is there for Brahman. So you can say Brahman is near, Brahman is far and all that. But if Brahman is looked upon as it is, where there is no space or where there is no time, then it doesn't have any limitations of space or time. So like this, there are statements which you have to carefully understand, whether it is with reference to an Upadhi or whether it is talking about Brahman as it is without any Upadhi. Now, those who do not know the traditional teaching methodology or those who have their own ideas, correct? They are trying to actually fit the teaching of the Upanishad into their preconceived notions. Because there are other Darshana people are there. Nayayika, Purvamimamsaka, all these people. Or even Dvaitins, Vishishtadvaitins, all these people, they are there. They have already decided that this is the truth or this is our truth at least. And then they try to force fit the Upanishadic Vakyas into that. For them, it is always difficult. They have to somehow explain all these contradictions. It's going to be very difficult for them. In fact, they use all kinds of verbal gymnastics, grammatical gymnastics, okay, because Madhvacharya interprets Atma Tattvamasi as Atma Atatvamasi, even though Atatvamasi will make no sense in the context. If you see how that prakarana, that section begins, how it ends, what is being repeated, all these things, if you see, nobody has to come and tell the other guy you are not that, correct? Already everybody thinks that he is not that only. If you ask you go to the road, ask some guy, are you Narayana? He is going to say, I am not Narayana, correct? So you don't have to teach him that you are not Narayana or you are not Ishvara or you are not Brahman. It doesn't make any sense. Teaching is required only for you are Brahman, correct? That is the real equation. And of course, all equations have, or at least seemingly they look contradictory. You have to arrive at the identity. Then there is some teaching. To arrive at the identity, teaching is necessary. But if you do all this grammatical gymnastics, correct, I would say, or Ramanuja takes it as Tasyat Tvamasi, you are of that. And then even that also is a problem. So all these kinds of fancy interpretations will not work. They can only see contradictions there. That's why you have to learn this from a proper guru, from a sampradaya with one who knows the sampradaya, the teaching methodology. Then only there will be clarity. Only such a person can overcome this ignorance. Like this, Bhashyakara makes it very clear. See, he says here, Tasmat Tatra Yaha Eva Shrutyacharya Darshita Marga Anusarinaha Tayeva Avidyayaha Param Adhigachanti. So the one who goes to a guru, an acharya who is Shrotriyam Brahmanishtam, correct? Who is Shrotriya himself, who has studied this with his own guru and who is committed to this knowledge, only that person, the one who is learning from such a guru and one who goes along with the teachings of the guru and the shastra, that person alone can cross over this avidya. For others, it is not possible. Those who are Swabuddhi Kaushala Anusarinaha, Bhashyakara says, those who try to do things as per their own fancy, those who depend on their own intellect, all these people, for them, Shruti itself is not really a pramana. They are only trying, they already have decided something and trying to force fit Shruti into their view. That's what Bhashyakara makes it clear here. So up to this we saw already. Now Bhashyakara is introducing the next few vakyas, 16, 17, 18 and 19. With that, this particular Madhu Brahmanam is over. These four vakyas are actually praising Brahma Vidya by telling a story, very, very interesting story. So in fact, the whole teaching was given here, correct? Up to this 15th Vakya, the entire Madhu Brahmanam, the teaching has been presented very clearly that whatever is interdependent or mutually dependent, they are all Nitya, they have to depend on something independent, which is Atma, which is Satyam. That is the teaching here. Now that Brahma Vidya, which was taught, is now being praised by telling a particular story. And how Brahma Vidya is praised by this story, Bhashyakara will explain. Upanishad also, this story we will see. But before that, Bhashyakara anyway says that with this, Brahma Vidya itself has been completed. The entire teaching, which started with Maitreyi asking for the teaching, and then Yajnavalkya taught, and later on Madhu Brahmanam here, all the teaching is there. With this Brahma Vidya as a Amritatva sadhana, as the means for immortality, has been completed. So he starts like that: Parisamapta Brahma Vidya Amritatva sadhana bhuta yam Maitreyi Prishtavati Bhartaram. So that which was asked by Maitreyi to her own husband, that Amritatva sadhana, the means for immortality, and that which is Brahma Vidya, that is Parisamapta, it is completed. And how did she ask? She asked, Yadeva Bhagavan Amritatva Sadhanam Veda Tadeva Me Bruhi Iti. Like this, she asked in 243. So, whatever Bhagavan, hey Bhagavan here is Yajnavalkya, her own husband. She is asking him, whatever Amritatva Sadhanam means for immortality, you know, you teach me that. So, like that, she asked, and that teaching is complete with the previous Vakya. Then what? Etasya Brahma Vidyayaha Stutyartha Yam Akhyayika Anita. So now this story is being presented here. Okay, for praising this Brahma Vidya. Okay. And then what? Tasyaha Akhyayikayaha Sankhepataha Artha Prakashanarthau Yetau Mantrau Bhavataha. So two mantras are there. Okay, they are showing you the In fact, the entire story itself is not present here. In these four vakyas, next to four vakyas, couple of mantras are there. They are only recollecting the story which was already told in a previous section. That also we will see. Okay. So that's why Bhashyakara says, Akyayikaha Sankshepataha Artha Prakashanarthau Etau Mantrau Bhavataha. So the next two mantras which are going to be quoted here, they are only giving you a summary of the story, or they are recollecting the story. The actual story is there in Shatapatha Brahmana in another section previously, in a rite called Pravargya. There is a Pravargya ritual is there. So the section which is dealing with that, there only this Madhu Vidya story is there actually, but the Madhu Vidya itself is not present there. That is the beauty. The actual Madhu Vidya teaching is not presented in the Pravargya section, but that is presented here, the actual teaching. But the story is recollected here. The story is told there. So that also Bhashyakara will quote later on, we'll see that. So that's why he is saying Sankshepataha Artha Prakashanartho Yetau Mantrau Bhavataha Evam Hi Mantra Brahmanabhyam Sutatvat Amrutatva Sarva Prapti Sadhanatvam Brahma Vidyayaha Prakatikritam Rajamargam Upanitam Bhavati. See, this Brahma Vidya, which is Madhu Vidya, has been praised already in that Pravargya section also, and it is being praised here also in the Brahmana. Okay. So it has been praised in both the mantras and in the Brahmana portions. And therefore, this Brahma Vidya is now very clear that it is the Amritatva Sadhana, Sarva Prapti Sadhanatvam, Bhashyakara says. Amritatva Sarva Prapti, not only immortality, everything, whatever you desire, you will get. Why? Because you become the one who is limitless. Correct? You know yourself as the limitless, the one without any wants. That means it is as though all your desires also have been fulfilled. Everything is fulfilled for you. Everything you have attained. Krita Krityaha. Also one word is used for Jnani. Krita Krityaha means what? One who has done everything. Yeah, Apta Kamaha also is used, the word. Apta Kamaha means what? One whose all desires are as though fulfilled. Apta Kamaha. Don't have to do anything to become happy. So, this is the sadhana for this Brahma Vidya has been now Prakati Kritam means what? It has been proclaimed as the sadhana, and it has been praised by both the mantras and Brahmanas. And in fact, it is like this Prakati Karanam means it is like showing if you want to go somewhere, correct? Nowadays, Google Maps, everybody we all use. But Google Maps, what is the problem? Sometimes in India, Google Map will show you a way which will not, you will never reach the place where you want to go. Okay, because the lanes and by lanes are such that it will get closed somewhere. Google Maps will not know it unless the local auto wala will know better which way to go. Correct? So like that, if you want to go somewhere, the Raja Marga, in those days, the kings also made highways. Correct? Those were called Raja Marga. And Raja Marga, if you go, you know exactly where you are going. You are not taking any shortcut or sideways and all that. So it is like that. Brahma Vidya is like the Raja Marga. If you whatever you want to achieve, Brahma Vidya is like the Raja Marga for that. Nothing else really can compare to that. So that's why he says Raja Margam Upanitam Bhavati Prakati Kritam. So it has been proclaimed as though it is like a highway. Or if you want to reach a place, you go by the highway, correct? That is the best way. Like that, if you want Amritatvam, the sadhanam, the means for that is only Brahma Vidya. And again, how does this Brahma Vidya accomplish that? So he says, Yatha Adityaha Udyan Sharvaram Tamaha Upanayati Iti Tadvat. So like even when the sun rises, Sharvaram means associated with night. The nightly darkness is removed, correct? It is gone. Similarly, this Brahma Vidya also removes the ignorance and then gives you this Amritatvam. So that is the analogy he is giving. Okay, further what? Apicha evam stuta Brahma Vidya. Further it is also praised in this manner. What is that? That is, now he is making reference to the story of this Madhu Brahmanam. So, ya Indra Rakshita sa dushprapa devaihi api. So, this Vidya, Madhu Vidya itself was known to Indra, Devendra, but Devendra did not want anybody else to know that. All the other Devas also did not know it. Only Devendra knew it. And also, there was a Rishi, Dadhyang Atharvanaha. The Atharvana Rishi, Dadhyang Muni, that Rishi, he knew this. Okay, but then what did Indra do? He said, he told that Rishi, you should not teach this Vidya to anybody. Okay, therefore it is Devaihi api dushprapa. It is not easily attainable even by Devas. Okay, so that was the situation. Indra knew, Dadhyang Atharvanaha, that Rishi also knew. But Indra has prohibited that Rishi from teaching this Madhu Vidya to anybody. Therefore, even Devas also were not aware. Because of that, what? Yasmat Ashvibhyam api Deva Bishakbhyam Indra Rakshita Vidya Mahata Ayasena Prapta. Therefore, the Ashwini Kumaras, okay, Ashvibhyam means they are, here again everything will be in dual case. Because Ashwini Kumaras are twins. So Ashvibhyam, Deva Bishakbhyam means those who are they are the physicians for Devas. Okay, they are the doctors, heavenly doctors, the Ashwini twins. Okay, so even for them, what? Mahata Ayasena Prapta Indra Rakshita Vidya. So this Vidya, Madhu Vidya, which was kept secret, protected by Indra, they had to gain it through great effort. What is that effort? That also Bhashyakara refers here. That is the story, interesting story. The story is what? Brahmanasya shiras chitva ashvyam shiraha pratisandhaya tasmin indrena chinne punaha swashiraha eva pratisandhaya tena brahmanasya swashirasa eva ukta ashesha brahma vidya shruta. So the story is like this. So Indra prohibits this Rishi, Dadhyang Rishi, from teaching this, and he also issues a warning. What is the warning? He says, if you teach it to anybody, I will cut off your head. Okay, that is what Indra has already warned. So according to the story, these Ashwini Kumaras, they are very interested in knowing this Madhu Vidya. They go to this Rishi, but then the Rishi says, see, I am okay, I can teach you, but Indra has prohibited me, and if I teach, he has already told that he will remove my head, cut off my head. So if Indra does not cut my head off, I am ready to teach you. That's what this Dadyang Muni says. Then these Ashwini Kumaras, they are all doctors, correct? So they did a thing which even now it is not, or maybe some people are talking about it. What is that? Head transplantation. So they say, no, you don't worry, we will take care of your head also. Even if Indra cuts off your head, no problem. What we will do is we'll first take your head. Take your head means what? We will remove your head, keep your body alive, place your head safely somewhere, and then fix a horse head. Okay, that's what Brahmanasya shiras chitva ashvyam shiraha pratisandhaya means. They first cut off the head of this Dadyang Muni. Who is the Brahmana? Brahmana here means one who knows Brahman also we can take. And then on him, they put the head of they connect, pratisandhaya means they join the head of the horse. Then he teaches, with the horse head he teaches. once he starts teaching, Indra comes to know about it. Then what does Indra do? He comes and cuts off the horse head. No problem. Horse head is gone. Again, they fix the human head back. Then the teaching continues and they know completely this Madhu Vidya. They learned like that. So, Tasmin Indrena Chinne. So, when the teaching happens and when it was cut off, that horse head was cut off by Indra, Punaha Swashiraha eva Pratisandhaya, again joining his own head, this original head. Then Tena Brahmanasya Swashirasa eva Ukta Ashesha Brahma Vidya, the complete Brahma Vidya, then they learn from his original head only, after it has been joined to his body. Like that they learnt. So see the effort they have taken to learn. But more importantly, the Guru also took the risk of losing his head, literally, to teach. Okay, that means if there is a proper Sishya, then the Guru also will go to any length to teach. That also comes out in this story. So like this only they learnt, it seems. Therefore what? Yasmat tataha parataram kinchit purushartha sadhanam na bhutam na bhaviva utaha eva vartamanam iti na ataha parastutihi asti. Therefore what? There is nothing more worthy of your pursuit. Correct? Purushartha sadhanam means what? Purushartha means that which is desired by people. Purushena arthyate. And normally we say dharma, artha, kama, moksha and all that. But even in that, moksha alone is the only real purushartha. Others you cannot really even consider them as purushartha. They are all only purushartha for the ignorant. For the really discriminating person, moksha alone is the only purushartha, and for that the only means is Brahma Vidya. Therefore, there cannot be anything greater than this pursuit of Brahma Vidya. There was not, because this Brahma Vidya alone was pursued with such great effort, correct? Even to the extent of losing one's own head, replacing it and all that. Okay, they went up to that extent. So even in the past, Brahma Vidya was the greatest pursuit. In future also, there cannot be any other pursuit which is greater than Brahma Vidya, because there is nothing greater than limitless. You cannot better the limitless, correct? And then what to talk about the present then? Kutayeva Vartamanam. Even in the present also, there is no greater pursuit than pursuing this knowledge. Therefore, there is no other greater praise than the story itself. The story shows that to what extent both the students and the teacher went for the purpose of this Vidya. So that is a very great praise. The story itself is a stuti, and there is no greater stuti than that. Ataha para stutihi na asti. Okay, further what? Apicha evam stuyate Brahma Vidya. Okay, in one more manner also, further it is being praised. What is that? Okay, Sarva Purusharthanam karma hi sadhanam iti loke prasiddham. Okay, so in the world, normally what is the consensus, you can say? Okay, consensus opinion in the world is what? What is popularly known is that for all the things which you want, whatever you want, you have to work. Correct? Action is the only means for whatever you want to achieve. You have to do things. You have to be a go-getter. Correct? So that is very popular, very clear. And that tacha karma vitta sadhyam, and to do things you require resources, you require money, you have to spend your time, all kinds of resources you require. But then what is the problem? Tena asha api nasti amritatvasya, but any karma, for that there is not even a little bit of hope. In fact, with reference to gaining immortality through karma, there is no hope of gaining this immortality. Therefore, how do we gain this immortality? So, tadidam amritatvam kevalaya atma vidyaya karma nirapekshaya prapyate. So, this amritatva is only gained Okay, Kevalaya means with only by Atma Vidya. Kevalaya Atma Vidya means only by this Atma Vidya, knowing oneself alone. And also Karma Nirapekshaya, without any dependence on karma, because Atma Vidya is totally against karma, because it is revealing to you that you are not even a karta. You are not a karta bhokta. Then where is the question of any karma coming into the picture? Therefore, Atma Vidya doesn't have any dependence on any karma. So, karma nirapekshaya prapyate, only by being not dependent on karma, this Atma Vidya you can gain, and through that you can gain Amritatvam. Therefore, what? Yasmat karma prakarane vaktum prapta api sati pravargya prakarane karma prakaranad uttirya karmana viruddhatvat kevala sanyasa sahita abhihita amritatva sadhanaya tasmat na ataha param purushartha sadhanam asti. Okay. So here Bhashyakara is pointing out this important point. What is he saying? Therefore, he says karma prakarane vaktum prapta api sati. So even though there was a particular context to talk about this vidya in the Pravargya Prakarana. Pravargya is the ritual I already told you, which is coming before in Shatapatha Brahmana, before the Brhadaranyaka Upanishad. There only that actual story, which whatever Bhashyakara just now referred to, of replacing the head with horse head and this teaching being taught and all that story is coming there, but the actual teaching itself is not presented there. Okay, so the teaching itself could have been presented along with the story where that Pravargya right itself is being talked about, correct? But the Upanishad and the Veda did not do that. So Bhashyakara takes that also as an important indication. So even though there was a possibility or there it was in context, okay, so this Vidya could have been presented in the Pravargya Prakarana, but that is a Karma Prakarana, correct? There it is talking about the ritual, Karma. Therefore, it did not present this Vidya there after the Karma Prakarana. Karma Prakarana Uttirya Karmana Viruddhatvat. Because the teaching, this teaching of Madhu Vidya is actually against karma. And therefore, after this Maitreyi Brahmana, where sannyasa was actually shown as a means, correct, to attain Brahma Vidya and this Amritatvam. So, Kevala sannyasa sahita abhihita Amritatva sadhanaya. So, after that sannyasa was itself presented, and then this Madhu Vidya is also presented as the means for Amritatva. So by actually placing this Madhu Vidya here after the Maitreyi Brahmanam, also this Brahma Vidya has been praised. And also it is shown that Brahma Vidya is the ultimate Purushartha. Otherwise, if you place it with the karma, then some people may mistake that karma itself is a great Purushartha, correct? But it has been separately placed after extolling sannyasa. Therefore, again, this Vidya has been shown as the ultimate in pursuit and also independent of karma, not dependent on any karma. Therefore, Brahma Vidya alone is there is no other Purushartha which is greater than this Brahma Vidya. So, Tasmad na ataha param Purushartha sadhanam asti. So, there is no Purushartha sadhana which is greater than this Brahma Vidya. And one more also he gives. Apicha evam stuta Brahma Vidya. One more reason how this Brahma Vidya has been praised is that what? Sarvo hi lokaha dvandvaramaha. So the entire world, everybody wants company. Okay. We all relax in good company. In fact, in 143, when Prajapati was there alone, he did not enjoy. Okay. The Upanishad itself says, Savai naiva reme tasmad ekaki na ramate. So Prajapati, initially he alone was there and he did not enjoy, loneliness was there because, of course, He later on also gained self-knowledge. That is a different thing. But before that, he did not enjoy being alone. Prajapati himself, because he alone was there. Then he becomes many because he did not enjoy being alone. Like that, there is a Srishti Prakarana is there. So ekaki na ramate, those who are alone, they do not enjoy. That Shruti is there. But that is for normal people. Okay. So that's what Bhashyakara is now pointing. Yajnavalkyaha loka sadharanaha api san atmajnana balat bharya putra vittadi samsara ratim parityajya prajnana triptaha atmaratihi babhuva. So even though normal people, they do not enjoy being alone. And Yajnavalkya also is loka sadharana, means he was also a normal person in the world. Okay, because he goes to the king Janaka. In that court, he debates with so many people. He wins thousands of cows and gold and all that he is winning. In fact, even before the debate starts, he tells his shishyas, you take away all these cows because the cows are kept in one place and debate is happening. You all now take the cows away to our Goshala. Okay, because I'm going to win anyway. That was the kind of confidence or arrogance he had. So he was also a person of the world, even though he was a householder. He had two wives, not even one wife, and so many shishyas. He must have had a big gurukulam and all that. But still, what Atma Jnana Bala, by knowing oneself, okay, he gave up what Bharya, his wife, his wives, his children, all the wealth. Wealth also, he said in Madhu Brahmanam, he said in the beginning, I will divide it amongst you both, Katyayani and Maitreyi. So he gave up all these things, which are all samsara only. So samsara ratim parityajya, okay, bharya, putra, vittadi. So like this wife, children, wealth, etc. All this attachment to samsara, giving it up. Prajnana triptaha, he became satisfied due to knowledge of oneself and he reveled only in himself. Atmaratihi babhuva. This word Atmarati is used for Jnani. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan says Atman yevatmana tushtaha. Like that. Sita prajnasta dochyate. Atmani eva atmana tushtaha. Correct? This word is used for one who is happy in himself, by himself. Like that. Means does not depend on any other object to become happy. Need not gain anything to become happy. Need not get rid of anything to become happy. Correct? That is the beauty. So he became like that only due to this Brahma Vidya. That itself is a reason for this praise for this Brahma Vidya. Okay. Even though the Upanishad itself says Ekaki na ramate, but due to Brahma Vidya, Yajnavalkya now became Atmaratihi and does not depend on anybody else, anything else to become happy, to revel, to enjoy. That is the power of this knowledge. So that is one more reason. Then finally one more. Apicha evam suta Brahma Vidya. One more reason for praising this Brahma Vidya is what? Yasmat Yajnavalkyena samsara margat yuttishtataapi priyayai bharyayai prityarthameva abhihita priyam bhashasa yehi asva iti lingat. Okay, one more reason is what? This Brahma Vidya. When did Yajnavalkya teach this to Maitreyi? He had already decided to give up and go to the forest, correct? But still he taught this to his dear wife to please her. So now again, This Brahma Vidya has been taught by a loving husband to his dear wife, or in other cases by father to son. So why all these things are presented? Because a father cannot teach something which is not useful or something which is harmful to his own son, correct? Similarly, here a loving husband will not be teaching something which is useless or which is going to be harmful to his own loving wife or dear wife. So this also points to the fact that Brahma Vidya is something which is worthy of pursuit, correct? Because it has been taught by a father to son, Uddalaka and or this Uddalaka Shvetaketu, correct? Then Bhrigu Varini Varuna story is there. Like this, many places you will see either father is teaching the son or here husband is teaching the wife. So this also points out that this Vidya is highly beneficial. So it is worthy of your pursuit. And this is also, how do you know Yajnavalkya loved his wife or had some whatever love for his wife? Means it says, Upanishad itself says, Priyam Bhashasa Yehi Asva. So you are talking something very pleasing to me. Please come here and sit near me like this. He says, correct? So from that we know that Yajnavalkya taught this to his dear wife because pleased by her. Okay. So in all these ways, Brahma Vidya has been praised in the context of the last two Brahmanas, you can say. But now the actual this story itself, which is praising this Brahma Vidya, is coming now. Okay, what is that? Idam vai tan madhu dadhyang atharvanaha ashvibhyam uvacha. So this is this Madhu Vidya. Okay, the Madhu Vidya we saw where it was taught that anything which is mutually dependent, interdependent, that's all mithya. It all depends on something other than those two things, which is independent, which is the Atma. So this was taught by whom? Dadhyang Atharvanaha. So the Atharvana Rishi, the one who he was a great Atharvana Veda exponent, we have to understand. So Dadhyang Rishi. And to whom did he teach this? Ashvibhyam, the Ashwini Kumarau, the Ashwini twins. They were taught by this Dadhyang Atharvanaha. And that was seen by another Rishi. Okay. Tad yetad rishihi pashyan avochat. So having seen how these Ashwini Kumaras learned this Vidya from the Dadhyang Muni, another Rishi is now telling now, because it is so wonderful or very unbelievable, incredible story. He knows that and he is not able to keep it to himself. So he is now proclaiming it to the whole world. So another Rishi who knows about this story, how these Ashwini Kumaras learnt it from Dadhyang Rishi, this Madhu Vidya, he is now having seen that, having known that, he is now telling. What is he saying? Tadvam naraha sanaye damsa ugram avishkrunomi tanyatur na vrishtim dadhyang hayan madhva atharvanaha vam ashvasya shirshna prayadi muvacheti. Okay, so Tadvam Naraha means this Rishi is now addressing the Ashwini Kumaras actually, because he knows how they learned this Vidya. So, though the hey Ashwini Kumaras who are in the form of human beings, Naraha, Sanaye means Bhashyakara says Labhaya for gaining this Brahma Vidya. Okay, so Sanaye means here Labhaya means it shows their mumukshutvam, their desire to gain this knowledge. Mumukshutvam, Jignasa, the desire for knowledge, desire for moksha of the Ashwini Kumara. Because of that only, what did they do? They did this Ugram. They did a very terrible thing. Damsa. That is called damsa. Damsa means this this karma of cutting off the head and replacing it and all that, correct, with the horse's head. That's what is called damsa here, which is a very terrible thing they did. But the terrible thing they did only shows the greatness of this Vidya also. That I am going to now Avishkrunomi. I am going to bring it to the light of this entire world. Okay, I am going to proclaim it to everybody. How, like even tan yatuhu na vrishtim. Na here is not a negative particle. Okay, sometimes the na in the Veda comes in the meaning of iva. That also you should understand. Otherwise, you will get confused here. Tanyatuhu na vrishtim means it is not rain like that. No, no. It is na here means like even the clouds give rain. Correct? Because tanyatuhu means parjanya, clouds, and vrishti means rain. Like even the clouds are giving the rain. I am going to now tell everybody about how you people did this terrible act for because of your desire to know this Brahma Vidya. Okay. So na here has the meaning of iva. It is not a negative nanj particle. In fact, it comes in some other suktas also. Even in another Veda sukta which I taught, there also the na comes as iva meaning. I have seen that before. Anyway, so here further what? Tadhyang ha yen madhvatharvanaha vam ashwasya shirshna prayadim uvacheti. Also further he says, what does he say? He says that how this Dadyang Muni, how he taught this Dadyang Atharvanaha, he taught this Madhu, correct? Madhu, Yan Madhu Atharvanaha. Okay. So this Madhu Vidya, Dadyang Atharvanaha only, ha means it's a particle because it is a story, correct? He is telling whatever he knows, whatever which happened in the past. So he is telling that, and he taught this with the head of a horse, Ashwasya Shirshna, Pravocheti, because again, Pravacheti in Vedic Sanskrit, the prefix and the verb can be in different places. They need not be together, like in regular classical Sanskrit. So, Prayadim Uvacheti, like that it is there. So, what they taught with what this Dadyang Muni taught, this Madhu Vidya with the head of a horse, correct? That I am going to proclaim now, like this. This first mantra is there. Now let us see what Bhashyakara says. Tatra iyam stutyartha akyayika iti avochama. So he says, I already told that this is a story for the purpose of praising this Brahma Vidya. Okay, ka punaha sa akyayika iti uchyate. So what is this story that is being said here? Idam iti anantara nirdishtam vipadishati. So idam is there, correct? Idam vai. So idam, why idam is said means it is now telling whatever was immediately taught before this, which is there in your mind also now, correct? Because that has been immediately taught. So buddha sannihitatvat, it is very near, or which is there connected to whatever was taught recently. It is there in your head, in your mind already. That has been referred to as idam, this Madhu Vidya. Vai shabdaha smaranarthaha, and again the Vai shabda indicates some recollecting some other story which was actually mentioned in the Pravargya Prakarana. Okay, so that is now being remembered in the context of this Vidya which is being taught here. So Vai is for smaranartha. Tad akyayika nirvrittam prakaranantara abhihitam paroksham Vai. So tad, idam Vai, tad is there. Tad means that. What is that? That means normally it is paroksha, correct? This hill or this object means it is immediately available for experience. It is pratyaksha. That means it is somewhere in a distance, correct? It may not be even directly visible or directly experienceable. So this tad, that, which is referring to the story which was there in the other prakarana, the Pravargya prakarana. So that which was referred to in the other prakarana, that story is being referred to by the tad. And tad vai, that alone, the vai shabdena smarayan. So that story which was said in the Pravargya prakarana is being remembered now with the vai shabda. Okay. This, which was that, or which was said there in that prakarana, okay, and then that is being talked about. Iha vyapadishati, smarayan iha vyapadishati. So it is being said here, recollecting what is that? Yat pravargya prakarane suchitam, that which was indicated in the Pravargya prakarana. Now avishkritam madhu, but it was not that Madhu Vidya itself was not completely presented there. Only the story about how this Madhu Vidya was learned was presented there without presenting the Madhu Vidya itself. So na avishkritam madhu, the Madhu itself was not revealed there, Madhu Vidya. Tad idam madhu iha anantaram nirdishtam. So that Madhu Vidya has now been taught here in this particular Madhu Brahmanam in the Upanishad later on, because the Pravargya Prakarana is already gone. Now later on it is being revealed here, it is being mentioned here. And how did it start? Iyam Prithvi. So if you go to the, it is not 2511, it is 251. The first one, it starts as Iyam Prithvi only, correct? So Iyam Prithvi Ityadina. So like that, this Madhu Vidya started, and then the 15 Vakyas were there, where the teaching was presented. And again, how it was indicated in the other prakarana, that Bhashyakara is quoting here. Katam tatra prakaranantare suchitam. So in the prakaranantara only the actual story is there. How this Madhu Vidya was learnt by the Ashwini Kumara from the Dadyang. So in the other prakarana, how was this mentioned, indicated, that he is now quoting? What is that? Dadyang hava abhyam atharvanaha madhu nama brahmanam uvacha. So Dadyang Rishi is the one who told this Madhu Nama, means this Vidya known as Madhu, to the Abhyam, dual, correct? Abhyam means here the Ashwibhyam, to the Ashwini Kumaras. To you, it was told by the Dadyang. And again, Tad Yena Yoho Priyan Dhama, Tad Yena Yoho Yetena Apagachati. So these two Ashwini Kumaras, they were after this knowledge. Okay, they were pursuing this knowledge. That's why it is called Priyandham. This knowledge is their pursuit. Okay, they were very much interested, their desired pursuit for them. And therefore, since it was very much desired by the Ashwini Kumaras to know this Vidya, this Dadyang Muni went to them to teach. Okay. But what? He went there and told them this. What did he say? He says, Saho Vacha Indrena Va Uktaha Asmi Etached Anyasma Anubruya Tataha Evate Shiras Chidyami iti. So he said that by Indra I have been told. What? Okay. Etat Chet Anyasma Anubruyaha. So if you teach this to somebody else, okay, other than Indra himself, okay, Indra has learned it. This Muni also knows, but nobody else should know. So if you teach this to somebody else, then what? Tataha, then I will, Tataha evate shiras chidyami, I will immediately cut off your head if you teach this to anybody else or try to teach this to anybody else. So Indra has given me warning like this. So what? Tasmad vai bibhemi. Therefore, I am afraid I will lose my head. I don't want to lose my head by teaching you people. I am ready to teach you, but I am afraid if I teach, I will lose my head. So yadvai me sa shiraha na chidyat tadvam upaneshya iti. Okay, so he says, I am afraid, and therefore if yadvai me shiraha na chindyat, if my head is not cut off, okay, then what? Vam upaneshya. Upaneshya means I will take you near me, means what? I will take you as Sishyas and I will teach you. If my head is not cut off by Indra, then I will teach you. Otherwise, I am afraid I cannot teach. Without my head, how will I teach you? I cannot teach. So I will not have a head itself to teach if I start teaching you. So you have to make sure that my head is not cut off. That's what he is saying. Then what does this Ashwini Kumara they say? Tau pochatuhu avam tva tasmat trasya trasyau. Okay. And so they are saying, they said, tau, it's all dual case here. So tauha uchatuhu. So they told in past tense, again in dual case, we will avam tva tasmat trasyav. Okay. So avaheti. So we will protect you from Indra. We are the divine physicians. So now you tell us, you teach. And he still has doubts. How will you protect? So katham ma trasyethe iti. How will you to protect me? Katham ma trasyethe iti. Then they are saying, yada. Now Upaneshya say, now you have to understand, nav is there, that is because of Sandhi. Now has become nav. This Sahana Vavatu, Sahanau Gunatu and all is there. Correct? Same thing. Sahana Vavatu. Saha now Avatu. Similarly here, Yada now Upaneshya say. So when you take us as the Sishyas, the two of us, this now is dual case. Athate Shiras Chitwan Anyatra Ahritya Upanidhasyavaha. Okay, so at that time, then, so as soon as you take us as the Shishyas, thereafter what we will do, we will cut off your head. Shiras Chitwa Anyatra Ahritya, bringing another head, and we will join it. Okay, what is that other head? Atha Ashwasya Shiraha Ahritya. Okay, sorry, here Anyatra Ahritya means we will take your head and we will keep it safely. Okay. So Shiras Chitwa Anyatra Ahritya Upanidhasyavaha. So we will keep your head safely. First we will cut your head, keep it safely somewhere. Okay, we will keep it in safety. Then afterwards, Ashwasya Shiraha Ahritya Tatte Pratidhasyavaha. We will get the head of the horse and we will join it with your body. Then what? Tena now Anuvakshyasi, then you will teach us with that head. Then what? Indra will come to know immediately that you have started teaching us. Sayada now Anuvakshyasi Athate Tad Indraha Shiras Chetsyati. So as soon as you start teaching us, okay, when you talk to us, then what? Atha Te Tad Indraha, that Indra will come and cut off your head. Then what we will do? Athate Swam Shiraha Ahritya Tatte Pratidhasyavaha iti. Then we will bring your original head, which we have kept safely, and again fix it, join it with your body. Then what? Tateti. When he agreed, okay, it's a great risk, correct? He is ready to lose his head literally to teach. So he said, Tateti, let it be so. Tau ha upaninye. So then he took them as Sishyas, those two. Tau yed Yada upaninye. So as soon as he took them as Shishya, Atha asya shiraschitva anyatra dadatuhu. So then what? As soon as he took them as Sishyas, they cut off his head and then kept it somewhere else, anyatra. Then what? Atha ashwasya shiraha ahritya tadhasya priti dadatuhu. Then they brought the head of the horse, then they fixed it. Then what? Tenaha abhyam anuvacha. So then he talked to them with the horse's head. Sa yada abhyam anuvacha ata asya tad indraha shirascheda. So as soon as he started teaching them with the horse head, then Indra came and cut off the horse head. Then ata asya swam shiraha ahritya tadhasya pratidadhatuhu iti. Then they got that original head and again fixed it, joined it with his body. So this is the story. Yavattu pravargya karmanga bhutam madhu tavadeva tatra abhihitam natu kakshyam atmajnanakyam tatra ya akhyayika abhihita sa iha stutyartha pradarsyate idam vai tan madhu dadyang atharvanaha anena prapanchena ashvibhyam uvacha. Okay, so now Bhashyakara says, so this story was there, that he taught them this Madhu Vidya is there, but there is no details about the Madhu Vidya itself in the Pravargya section. So up to this, it was there in the Pravargya Karmanga Bhuta, in the as part of the Pravargya Karma, the story is there up to this point. But only that much only was said there, correct? Tavadeva tatra abhihitam. But here, this Atma Jnana is being taught through this Madhu Vidya. That is there only here. And again, after this Atma Jnanam has been presented, this Madhu Vidya as Atma Jnanam has been presented, this story is again being recollected here. For what purpose? Sa iha stutyartha pradarsyate, for the purpose of praising Atma Jnanam only. This story is now again is being talked about. So how is that? That is why idam vai tan madhu dadyang atharvanaha ashvibhyam uvacha. So this vidya, whatever was there in the first 15 vakyas, is nothing but the Madhu Vidya which was taught by Dadyang Atharvanaha to the Ashwini Kumara, which story was originally mentioned in the Pravargya section or Pravargya Prakarana. And that story is being remembered here only for praising this Brahma Vidya, because to show that how much effort was taken for the purpose of pursuing this knowledge. Okay, so up to this we see, okay, next we'll see next week the rest of the things. It's all about the story only. Hopefully we'll finish the other portion. And with this we are almost completing the second chapter. With that, this Madhu Khanda is over. This portion, first two chapters are called Madhu Khanda in Brhadaranyaka. Third and fourth chapters we will start, that is called Muni Khanda, where Yajnavalkya has lot more. He comes a lot more in the Muni Kanda. That is why it is called Muni Kanda. Yajnavalkya is the Muni there. So we will see that. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
नमस्ते।
धन्यवाद गुरुजी।
नमस्ते गुरुजी।
धन्यवादः गुरुजी।
We will meet next week.